Hello, thank you for taking the time to view this short video, which explains some of the things parents and families and students need to know before the return to the Minster School in September of 2020. As you'll appreciate, these are very unusual times, and we've been given some guidance from the government that we need to implement to make sure that everybody in the school community remains safe and well throughout this time when we're being affected by the COVID-19 outbreak. So this video should be viewed alongside the guide, which is also found on this area of the website and gives a lot more detail for parents. And I'd ask that you and families all take the time to review that information carefully. So what is it that this government guidance says? Well, there are a number of key aspects that we've needed to consider. The first of them is this concept of bubbles. Bubbles meaning that each year group population in a secondary school needs to be kept separate from all of the others, right the way through each of the school days. And we've achieved this by creating different areas in the school, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a minute and how that works. What else does the government say? It talks about the extended hygiene facilities and extended hygiene practices in schools. We have already got enhanced cleaning ready and in place. There will be hand cleaning stations in each and every classroom throughout the school, and we will be controlling where students are and keeping them separate, including in circulation spaces, so that we can maintain that very highest level of hygiene and safety for each of them. A really important point being no contact between students. In terms of controlling infection, it's clear in the guidance that you as parents and we as the school need to be really aware of what to do in cases where there are suspected cases of COVID-19. And there is an additional instruction sheet that's associated with this presentation and with the wider guidance to help you to know exactly what it is that you need to do if you think that your child is not very well or another member of your family becomes poorly. Equally, the guidance talks about what it is that schools might need to do. We would work with public health if and when any cases of COVID-19 occurred. As I've mentioned already, interactions are really important. So, of course, we can't maintain social distancing in the classroom between students, but they will all be facing forwards. There will be additional space for the teacher. And during social times, like break times, lunch times, before and after school, there is the opportunity to exercise social distancing, and absolutely that rule about no contact being one that is very important for us to uphold. And we do need to offer a full curriculum, although there will have to be compromises. As you can imagine, not all specialist facilities will be available to all students at all times in order to be able to maintain those separate areas in the school. So this concept of zoning then. That means that each year group will be kept in a separate and specific area within the school, looked after in that area and taught in that area, occasionally leaving to move to other areas of the school for specialist facilities. But that would be very controlled and will not necessarily be for all specialist learning experiences. We will have to move to year-based tutoring rather than our usual vertical approach for the time being, and similarly worship will need to be in vertical year groups and will largely be tutor group based in the first instance. We will revert to our more normal practices at the first opportunity. As I've already mentioned, there will be some restriction to the access to facilities, but each year group will have good support from its pastoral support assistant, from a member of the leadership team with its own toilet facilities, its own outdoor spaces, its own lunch and break facilities, and with all groups having the opportunity to use the PE facilities for their PE lessons each week. I've mentioned already, as I said, separate lunch, break and toilet facilities for each, and there will be some rotering of those facilities so that we have enough space for everybody. And there will be differences in extracurricular activities, as these will have to be year-based for the time being, but they will be on offer. So what is it that you as families really need to think about at this stage? Well, think about transport. Again, in the guide, there's more information, but you need to consider how your child will get to and from school. Check out the equipment list, again in the guide, to make sure that your child brings what they need with them every single day. We'd be grateful if you run through the rules with them and make sure that they understand what it is they should and shouldn't do. We need to make sure that those rules are adhered to, because it's those rules that help to keep the community safe, both within school and more broadly. Please make sure you know the timings of the school day and which entrance to use. Again, the information is in the written guide. The general information is on this slide here, the start being at 8:50 a.m. as usual, the end being slightly earlier at 3 p.m. and 2 p.m. on Wednesdays. And unfortunately, at the moment, it's not possible for parents to come on site unless by prior appointment. We appreciate your help with that, and also your help with not congregating outside of the school gates. I and all the staff are looking forward very much to welcoming students back onto site from September. This is our chance to begin succeeding together and working more closely as a school community. And while there are restrictions in place that will make it more difficult, we also know that this will be our opportunity to really get started again and to give the students the best possible experience that we can. It's also appreciated that there will be anxieties for many with regard to this return to school. And so if you do have any questions, please first of all make sure that you've read all the information available on the website and through the guidance, but do of course make contact with us through email and we'll get back to you and try and answer those questions for you. Thank you ever so much for your support, and we're very much looking forward to welcoming everybody back into the school community very, very soon. Have a good summer.